An amazing week of college football as week 7 concludes. And I'm super sad about that because we're halfway through the season, but a lot of good games to talk about, a lot of good games to recap. So many, in fact, I missed a few. I was staying up way too late past my bedtime to try to watch that Colorado game. I'm on the East Coast, so I'm still suffering from the sleep deprivation, but good game to watch. Lots of great games to cover, so we're going to hop right into that. Also, going to look at some of the stat leaders on the season, right? I know we're right at the halfway point, so we'll see who's leading, passing yards, rushing yards, different things like that, where the teams, offenses, and defenses rank, and get all into that today. I hope y'all enjoying these videos. If you do enjoy the video, like the video if you like it, dislike the video if you don't like it, and subscribe if you're enjoying college football content. Let's hop right into it. Gonna start recapping from Friday's game, Utah versus Arizona State. Now, Arizona State has a Cam Rising problem. He was trying to go for the old the old Nathan Peterman, but couldn't get the job done there. I know he's dealing with an injury, so in all seriousness, I hope he gets better and I hope he figures things out. But it's not looking great there for Utah, even though they're 4-2, so not looking great in being 4-2. I mean, it could be worse. This Scatterboo dog, this Scatterboo freak of nature, he's amazing. He's good at the foosball. I like watching him play a game. Northwestern over Maryland, UNLV over Utah State, Texas, how come, over Oklahoma. I told y'all what it was. Quinn Ewers comes out rusty. He hasn't played in a while, so something that we should be expected. And he does come out games rusty often, but he locked in coming into the second quarter. We rolled a little bit and then, just kind of did what we need to do to take care of our rivals. It was a good time. I enjoyed goddamn mushing the Sooner. The Sooners have a lot of question marks when watching that game. The offense is just not there. It's not very explosive right now. I don't think that's all of Haskins' fault, or Hawkins was his name. I don't think that's all Jackson Arnold's fault either. I think there's a lot of problems. They had a lot of injuries too. I mean, they were missing their top 5 wide receivers. So, hey, man, I'm happy we get the rivalry win, but Oklahoma's going to have to do a lot of retooling to go ahead and finish out the season, which I think they can because that defense is top tier. Ohio State versus Oregon. Hey, Ryan Day. Big game Ryan Day. I mean, he can't get it done in the big games. You lose to Oregon, you better beat the brakes off of Michigan, Ohio State. They can still slide into the playoffs. Oregon, that defense is elite. That's what shocked me the most. First of all, Dylan Gabriel played a great game, and that's someone who I called out when I was when I was first talking about the game. But then when you watch him play, I mean, he played a good game. He ran the ball well. He took care of the ball well. That thing was spinning out that lefty's hands nice. Those uniforms, you see them things, them splinter cell joints. I like them. I like them a lot. Ohio State, man, that pass interference call, I think we all can say he's not a pass interference call. Jeremiah Smith is just 6'4", and he's a mutant of a freshman. And like I said in my other video, you as a freshman, you have to use that and grow with that and put that in the back of your head. Hey, in these short time when we need it most, I can't be a big body receiver. I might need to sell the fact that he pushed off. I might need to think about that. I think that is something that I don't think that is Jeremiah Smith's fault. It's the ref's fault for doing that because I don't think that was pass interference. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and I think he's going to grow from that. I think he's going to get craftier from it. But this team in Ohio State, a very, very expensive team, in which Quinshon Judkins, I think, rushed for actually, I got to show it. I think he rushed for 10 yards or something like that. I think Quinshon Judkins, 23 yards on 11 carries. Man, oh man. That's a lot of money. USC is embarrassing, but you know who also is embarrassing? Penn State, for taking that close to USC. USC's got a really good defense though. They take it into OT. They handle business there. Just like I keep saying, I think Penn State's going to slide into the playoffs. I don't think they're going to be able to survive their Big Ten gauntlet. Who else do they have on their schedule? Let me see. I don't know. I don't think they can survive the Big Ten gauntlet. They're not. Never mind. If they beat Ohio State, they could roll here. Now, there's a lot of upset potential here. These are. That's the thing about the Big Ten. There's a lot of good teams. Not Wisconsin, but I think Washington probably give you one from it. Purdue just had a big win over Illinois. Minnesota played a good game. Didn't they just beat somebody? And then of course Maryland. So there are some teams here that can give Penn State a shock besides Ohio State. But you got to beat Ohio State, so we'll see what happens there. I don't know. I think they can still sneak in regardless. They have a really good path to the playoffs right now. USC 3-3, and they've been losing some close games. That's not how I thought they thought that season was gonna go. Georgia gives up 31 points to Mississippi State. And they gotta play the Horns next week. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, feel me? And Queen Ewers got the butterflies up out of them. I hope. So be on the lookout for that, man. I think the biggest thing that I've always continually say is Georgia has a lethargic offense. 459, 3 touchdowns. That don't sound too lethargic for me. And the fact that I always said their defense was elite, but giving up 31 points to one of the worst teams in the SEC, if not the worst team in the SEC, it's not looking great. Alabama is unraveling. They need to stay right at number 7 and not move. Obviously, some teams are going to lose. They're going to move up X, Y, Z, but you know what I'm saying? South Carolina is a lost team, and y'all went ahead and struggled against them. Only won by 2 points. Lenora Sellers didn't even have the best of games. This Florida-Tennessee game, let's hop into the box score. I actually want to talk about this one. I want to talk about this one. Nico. Now, I'm not sure if it's just us putting too much pressure on a young quarterback. A lot of people were saying that, hey, this Nico kid, he's only started X amount of games. Everybody says X, Y, Z, but he was spinning that thing. And last year he was spinning it. The few games that we saw coming into this week, he was spinning it. He was doing big stuff. So I think the expectation there was that he could continue to spin it. But I'm just not seeing it as much. I'm just not seeing him be as explosive, as decisive, as even confident as he once was. But Dylan Sampson is the truth. I think this running game, like it always was, I think that was the trick. That was the smoke and mirrors behind this Tennessee offense. It's a running offense. It always was. So the more effective and explosive the run game is, it opens it up for Nico. That's what they've been doing to those other teams coming into the start of the season. It seems like they haven't had that same early game start, right? Sometimes when the run game, 27 carries for 112, that's a grind. 4.1 yards, 3 touchdowns. But this is a grind of a game. This isn't a boom, big explosive, you know what I'm saying? So when you have the run game like this, I think it's going to take a little bit longer for a quarterback who needs that pressure, who needs the safeties, biting a little more, so he can go ahead and start spinning and have some more confidence. I think he's going to be good in the long run, but these last 2 games haven't been phenomenal for Nico. And it's interesting to see the difference here. And look, the Gators are a real defense. I think I'm always going to give them credit for their talent. As much as people want to make fun of Florida, they've got a good defense. Billy Napier just kind of gives the game away. It doesn't help that Graham Mertz comes out. He was playing a good game, and then you have to put in DJ Lagway, who's just not ready. The true freshman is just absolutely not ready. So I just thought that was interesting there. Interesting how the SEC is going to shake up. Tennessee versus Alabama. Does Nico rise to the occasion? Does he shut me up? I hope he does. Ole Miss versus LSU. This was a game, ladies and gentlemen. This high-powered Ole Miss offense sputters out when we get into the third quarter, and they cannot put up another touchdown. And this was my, not issue, but I think my question mark. Golly, Nussmeier went 22 for 51. Them boys was slinging passes. Them boys' arms hurt. But I told y'all I didn't believe in Jackson Dart. And it's not because I don't think he's a good quarterback. I just don't think he's a quarterback that can lead a team to a national championship. I don't think he's a team that can take Ole Miss of all teams over the hump. They've always had great wide receiver play, and Trey Harris continues to do that. He made a freak catch, and he went for just a cool 102. And then my man Sadie Lee went for a cool 132. Them boys did what they needed to do on the ground. They handled business. Both of these offenses figured out how to put yards up on the board and put points on the board, but it was a very sloppy-ish game. And both of these quarterbacks obviously didn't play their most elite game. 2 interceptions is not great. 1 interception is for 1 touchdown. And then 15. But he's got a lot of sacks, so you can't really look at the rushing game. So, but it really, what I say this to say is it really puts a dagger in Ole Miss. Not to say that they can't make the playoffs. Look, they're very partial. We know how it is. The committee's going to be very partial to SEC teams, but this is the leading offense, the number 1 offense in the nation, number 1 receiver, number 1 quarterback yards. Like, this is supposed to be a highly explosive offense that can continue to keep the clip up, and the fact that they weren't able to continue to flex the muscle like they showed that they could in the second quarter is concerning to me. LSU played a complete game, and they kept coming and kept coming. and it seemed like Ole Miss didn't have as much in the tank there last ability wise, not like physicality wise, but you know how that go. Notre Dame over Stanford. Hey, love to see it. Love to see it. BYU is a wagon. BYU is the scariest team in the Big 12. Let me know. I'll let you know right now. Iowa State goes over West Virginia. 217 yards on 31 carries. Ashton Genty, he was made in a lab. I just want to the Boise State Ashton Genty's. He rushed for the same amount. Let me get out of here. Y'all know what happened, bro. Ashton Genty happened, dog. I don't even know why we're having this conversation. Y'all know what exactly happened. Okay. Continue. Oh yeah, Army's undefeated as well as Navy being undefeated. I believe they're both ranked this week too. The first time that happened in 60 years. So fun fact there. Louisville starting to look like a better team. They're 4-2, 2-1 in the ACC. Cincinnati over UCF. Hey man, UCF's just been on a downward spiral ever since they hit Colorado. Colorado State handles business in San Jose State. You got San Diego State over Wyoming. Old Dominion over Georgia State. You got Western Michigan at 3-3, 2-0 in the MAC though over Akron, Northern Illinois, Bowling Green, Ohio versus Central Michigan. Over Central Michigan. ULM over Southern Miss. New Mexico versus Air Force. Air Force, what are you doing, son? All right. I thought the cadets are supposed to be going crazy. Y'all aren't going crazy. Washington State over Fresno State. They're starting to turn to a decent team there. Arkansas State versus Texas State. Texas State rolls. North Texas finishes the job against Florida Atlantic. Rice over Utah. Nevada over Oregon State. Vandy over Kentucky. Remember, Kentucky is one of the better teams in the SEC, one of the better teams in the nation. They are still undefeated at 4-2 and 2-1 in the ACC. Watch out for Vandy, man. Watch out. Watch out for Vandy. I think we got all the big games. Yeah, we talked about did we talk about Colorado? Wait. Where's Colorado? I mean, we talked about it. But where's it at? I guess because it went into the next day. All right, so that's the last game we're going to recap is the Colorado game. Where is the Colorado game? Vanderbilt, Minnesota, CLA, Minnesota, Memphis, Western, Colorado. Bow. Oh, wait, K-State was top 25 anyway, so we'll do it like that. And we already covered those. Oh, yeah, Clemson handled business. Why are they not showing me all the games? Clemson handles business against Wake Forest. Of course, we talked about Iowa State. There we go. The marquee game that I ruined my sleep over. K-State versus Colorado. Colorado just lost that game. I don't know. And it's hard to say that because you lose Travis Hunter. You lose Jimmy Horn. Shiloh Sanders is playing like a piece of driftwood. That boy was getting shooketh. That boy was having a long night. A long night. Lord have mercy. And I think what I'm going to say the biggest issue, because we can talk about how that defense just gave up crazy scores and just did not help this offense in any way. But I really think the biggest issue is that Colorado just ran away from the run game. 7 carries for 11 yards for D. Hayden. Like, what are we doing here? You showed that y'all could control the game by running the ball, and then you come out and you only give 19 carries in total. You only gave 19 carries, and that's counting Shador. So if you take Shador away, that's 10 carries. You gave running backs 10 carries, and you only split it between 2 backs. That doesn't make any sense to me. That is the biggest issue. And y'all net a total negative 29 rushing yards. We talked about it in the full recap video, man. A great game, though. Absolutely great game. K-State is a wagon. Colorado, shockingly, earned my respect because, hey, they're giving K-State, who is, again, 4-1 coming in this game, by all regards, one of the top teams in the Big 12. Hey, Colorado can play football. If they just ran the ball for, like, positive yards, holy canola oil, man. All right, let's get in these stat leaders. Like I said, Jackson Dart leading still. He's been at the top of the passing yards this whole season. Cam Ward at number 2. Cam Ward He's tightening up that Heisman race, dog. But too bad that there's a Michael Myers standing mother who's going to win it regardless in Ashton Genty. But we're going to get there. Cam Ward at 2.219. Both of these boys were very standout. Kyle McCord at number 3. The man who was casted out, I wouldn't say cast out, I mean, he transferred out. The man who was casted out at Ohio State for 21, Shedeur Sanders. You know what he do for 2018. Josh Hoover at TCU for 2000. Let's take a peek at these complete leaders just real quick. Just want to look at the top 10. Right in there is Garrett Nussmeier, then Chandler Morris out of University of North Texas, Will Rogers, Carson Beck, and then Dylan Gabriel at number 10. Continuing on and continuing forward, defensive leaders in tackles, Sean Dullock in Buffalo. Buffalo always has great defensive players. Y'all watch out for. I mean, that's where Khalil Mack came out. Trevion Barnes from FIU, Trey Rucker out of Oklahoma State, Nick Anderson out of Wake Forest, and then again, wow, Red Murdoch. They have two of the top leading tacklers in the nation in the top 5. Ashton Jeanty. By the way, Caleb Johnson deserves all the respect in the world. Y'all need to be watching Caleb Johnson videos. I mean, Caleb Johnson highlights, content, the games, watch all of it. But Ashton Jeanty leads just about 300 yards above everybody. This dude is just. I'm going to make y'all want a video about them? Well, you're getting one, so it doesn't matter. Leave in the comments section if you want a video. 17 touchdowns. 17 touchdowns. 1,248 yards. What? Look at these totals. 217. Oh, sorry. Let's go in order. 192, 127, 259, 186, 217. Golly, dog. I just cyborg. And then you got DJ Giddens, by the way, at number 4. Omarion Hampton, UNC underrated guy who's not getting talked about enough, but he's a great running back. And then Cam Scatterboot, like we talked about, a guy. Trey Harris here, top leading receiver. You got Nick Nash, number 2 in San Jose. I don't need this, sir. Thank you. Tate Felton at Maryland, and then Jack Beck out of TCU. Interceptions. Cal is at number 1 with Noah Williams at 6, and then we got a big two-way tie here at these two UNLV defenders tied for 4. That's pretty good. You got a Maryland defender with 4, and then Terrence Spence out of JMU with another 4. Sack leaders, we got Trey White out of San Diego State with 11 sacks in 7 games. Nasty. Donovan, I don't know how to pronounce that. Out of Boston College, he seems to be getting after quarterback. Kyle Kennard, by the way, true freshman, leading in number 4 there. Mike Green out of Marshall with 8, and then Antoine Power Island out of VT with 7. So to finish off this, we're going to just take a peek at some of these leaders here. In total yards, we've got Miami, Boise State, James Madison, Ohio State, and Texas when it comes to the leader in points per game. Then we come over here to red zone scoring percentage. That top 10, which is really just a top 1, is Ohio State, Army, Navy, Texas A&M, Troy, Kansas State, ULM, Ball State, Kansas, Wyoming, and Michigan at 100%. Then when we come over here to college football team opponents' yards per game. So this is defensive yards per game, well, for the offense, how many yards you allow. And the top 5 is Texas, Northern Illinois, Kentucky, Ohio State, and Tennessee, still with an elite defense over there. Them 10 boys. Team opponents' third down conversions, like I always talk about. Top 5, Northern Illinois, USC, Oregon State, Texas A&M, and Missouri. And finally, college team opponents' points per game. Number 1 is Texas. Hook 'em. Number 2 is Army. And then Ohio State, not Chatham, number 5 being Tennessee. That is your Week 7 wrap-up and scroll down. Appreciate y'all watching this video. Leave a like this video if you like it. Dislike if you don't like it. Comment down below what your team is and what your record is going to finish like. An amazing, phenomenal week of college football concludes, and we'll see you next time.